And so welcome everybody, and I'm going to turn things over now to Kent and Ben. And if you wouldn't mind just giving us an overview as to what we can expect with the awards program this year.
Great, thanks Nancy. I think I'll start things off and then hand it over to Kent. But what I'll do is just kind of an overview of why we've made some of the changes, some of the feedback we've heard from members over the last couple of years, and just based on, the amount of work it was taking for the EDA board people in charge of the awards to get all this done. So, Kent and I have taken this over now from the great work Pat had done over the last couple of years. She did a fantastic job. And as I've been talking with EDA members, either at the conferences or just through discussions, I asked the question of people, why haven't you submitted awards? Or if you have, what was the process like? And what we heard from some people is just that it seemed like it was getting to be a bit too much work for the submissions. So we heard that feedback. So we've made some changes to kind of simplify and streamline the application process, but also ensuring that we're getting enough information to properly judge the entrances, because we don't want it to be, if you if you only submit 200 words or something, it's really hard to judge. So I'm going to start off with what the changes are to the community awards, and then Kent will talk a little bit about the EDO of the year and the young professional. So I think the biggest change of note for everyone here would be that we've changed the categories. It used to be, the business investment attraction, community economic development type of categories, really your traditional economic development, three kind of main categories. And we've changed them just to update and see if the types of projects that communities are working on, have maybe slightly changed for the past, 5-10 years. So we've made these changes to the categories in the hopes that it would maybe spark some inspiration of the various other projects people are doing they might not have thought would have been eligible for EDA award. So the first category now is economic development renewal projects. So this can be residential, commercial, industrial, retail, or tourism. And really this category can include anything about, beautification of a downtown. It can be revitalization of a underutilized tourism asset. It can be, revitalization of a residential area for, say, affordable housing or things like that. Really, it's a pretty broad category, but allowing for the flexibility of the different types of projects that might be considered renewal. Like I said, with downtown, it can be retail, commercial, industrial, really up to you guys to kind of think of what types of projects you're doing for that category. The other category, the second one, is implementation of ESGs. That's environmental, social, governance priorities in an economic development project. So this category is really intended to highlight projects that relate to sustainability, to equity, to inclusion. It can be gender-based projects, supporting women entrepreneurs, things like that. And also part of energy transition, if it's a municipal-led project about, bringing your municipality to closer to net zero, things like that. Those are the type of projects, or partnerships with other organizations for ESG purposes. And then the third category is regional collaboration and partnership projects. So this is a pretty broad scope category as well, but this is where you can highlight some of the innovative projects that you've managed to do through partnerships and collaboration. And the partnerships and collaboration are what really contributed to the success of your project. So those are three categories. We've also kind of slightly changed how we're judging the projects now. And we're really, really wanting to focus on outcomes, on results of a project. We're trying to steer away from having people submit projects that are just, here's a study we've done. We're really looking for, okay, if you did a study, what were the implementation steps, and then what was the outcome of that, those actual project implementation. And so in the submission, what we're asking for, instead of, it used to have several categories, I think there was 6 or so, about outcomes, about use of media, things like that. We're just asking everyone to fill out a 500-word abstract that talks to your project outcomes, to your creativity, uniqueness and approach, to stakeholder engagement, and to media. And so the judging criteria, if you go onto the EDA website and when you're preparing to submit for your project, you'll see there is the judging criteria and weight pretty specified out to show you what we're really trying to judge the projects on. And so I'll just quickly go through it. So outcomes, effectiveness in achieving objectives, goals, achievements, and impacts. So like I said, that's really where we're wanting to see the focus of the submissions is weighted 40%. So if you think about, you have a 500-word abstract to submit, and 40% of our scoring is based on those outcomes, the effectiveness of achieving your outcomes, that's where you want to spend a good amount of time explaining that part. The creativity and uniqueness of approach is worth 20%. The stakeholder development, community partnership engagement is worth 20%. And then the effective use of media is also worth 20%. So if you're looking at, how to craft your 500-word abstract, you want to take a look at those judging criteria and kind of figure out exactly what you want to say and how you want to say it in 500 words, because we're also limiting it to 500 words to allow for easier judging and be able to compare between two projects. So if we had one that was, 1,500 words, one had 400 words, it's hard to really compare those two from a judging perspective. So we'd like to see 500 words from everyone submitted for the project, and really highlighting those outcomes and your effectiveness in achieving the outcomes. The other change to the actual submission is just that we're asking for one PowerPoint slide that's a visual representation of the project that can be shown during the awards, because I know it was a lot of work for Pat and previous people to put together all the slide decks of all the projects for being displayed during the conference. So we're just asking for one PowerPoint slide. You can have an image, a bit of text on there, the title of the project type of thing, just so that it's all kind of put together and ready for us to be displayed throughout the conference and during the awards ceremony. I think that's pretty much the overview of all the changes to that portion. And so for those of you who haven't been on the website now, if you go to the website to hit apply now, you'll see all this information is there. We still have the same number of actual categories and awards. So within the 3 categories I spoke of, the economic development renewal, implementation of ESG, and regional collaboration, it's still split between the small, medium, and large communities. So, you're still competing with the communities of similar size of yourself. So I think that's probably what I wanted to highlight, at least in terms of this. I just see there's a question here from Eleanor. There's inclusion of judging for those who submit. How will that work? Right. So we're also in this phase, we're asking that if you submit for an award, you provide us with a person within your organization, yourself, if you're the economic development officer, whoever it may be, to also participate in judging one other section. So this kind of gives other EDA members who haven't been on the board, who haven't, participated in this type of thing before, the opportunity to kind of see how the judging will work. So once we get those submissions in and everyone provides that contact information, we will then kind of go through and say, oh, if you've submitted for a project in the ESG in a medium size community, we'll send you the submissions for the partnership and collaboration project for a small or large or whatever. So it's a different community size and different category than what you submitted for. And you'll be able to just do a quick judging, see kind of how we do the score, and you'll submit that as well. And then we'll include that as part of the overall judging and scoring of the projects as we look to determine the winners. So I think I've answered that for Eleanor. So now I'll hand it over to Kent, and he can talk about the EDO and the young professional.
Before we start, sorry to interrupt. Before you start, I noticed that Pat had raised her hand. Yep. Pat, did you have your answer?
I have a question and I have a comment.
Yeah, please.
Just to help out with on the PowerPoint slide request, the reason why I had in the past 2 years had to do so much work on that is what was submitted didn't represent, in my opinion, the best graphics, information, visuals that would really truly showcase the submission. So if there's any advice that I can give is when you are putting forward that's your submission and you include the PowerPoint slide or the graphic representation, make sure that when somebody's looking at that, because that's going to be the first thing that people see, that it actually tells the story of what your submission is. So that's just a quick little 101. And the question I had was on the partnership, the collaboration category. Is it only regional, or can it be a collaboration within other parts? Like, is it only a regional thing?
No, it can be, I guess, I'm just looking at the title. Yeah, maybe it kind of sounds regional, but a partnership or collaboration, it can be with organizations within your community. But really the key part is that a partnership or collaboration was the key to the success of the project. And that's what we'd want to see in that judging criteria is how did that partnership, collaboration, whatever it may be, however many organizations, how did that contribute to the success of your project?
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
Yep.
Because it could be you, your chamber, a developer, and you're working on. And Pat, we will provide a PowerPoint template.
Yeah, we'll put that on our website.
And so it's cut and paste.
Yeah, it's cut and paste. But your point is certainly well taken. Pictures tell a story, right? So it's very important that the imagery is really representative and eye-catching and dynamic and all of that. So, all right.
Thanks. Let me just go back to judging. When Ben and I kind of brainstormed on this, I've been involved in the awards, I think, for every year but 4. And have been a judge on most of those years. And I always took offense when people called me biased. When there was no bias, we marked the awards as we professionally saw them. It took me 3 full days, over 24 hours last year to judge the awards. And Pat and Tanner had the same experience. It was taking hours to go through the awards. And so we thought, well, let's spread this out. So if every community who submits an award has the opportunity to spend 45 minutes judging a different category in a different population size, and then we can pool and look at those resources or those scores to adjudicate. We thought it spreads it out. Everybody gets an opportunity to participate. And so that's one of the things that we're going to be looking at. And as Ben mentioned before, metrics and outcomes. There was so much good work done last year, but they were on strategies that hadn't been implemented. And so when it came time to scoring on the outcomes, it was a great project, but just premature. And so I think Pat can hopefully will agree with me that there was that great work last year, but it didn't prove anything. You had a great consultant. And so we really want to see what you can achieve with the work that you've done. So that's kind of the background on the outcomes and the metrics. Sandy, you've got a question?
Hi there. Yeah, I'm just wondering if you can submit 2 projects for the same category.
Yes, you could be competing with yourself, but
Yeah.
if you had multiple projects and you thought they were both excellent, absolutely. And
Okay.
you could have a regional collaboration project that is also a renewal project.
Right. Okay, good. Thank you.
So with every $115 check, we'll be happy to review your application.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And let me just mention payment. Payment is due upon submission. We're not going to make Leanne and Nancy chase everybody down at the award ceremony and after for payment. So if there is no payment, it doesn't go into the adjudication process. We learned from Pat and the experiences before and just the complicated spreadsheets and things. There was no intent for them to be complicated, but we couldn't write in the application and then save it and come back. So one of the things that we've done by simplifying it is you can create your 500 words in a Word doc and you can edit that and wordsmith it and have your communications people picking every word so you're maximizing every syllable and then cut and paste that in the document. So you can just do one quick fill out the application, cut and paste, give us your credit card, hit send, and you're done. And that's our goal, is to try and make it easy for you to do and not time consuming. So any questions on that aspect of it?
I think Pat,
Okay.
Pat had a question, I think.
No, Pat had a question before, but she's clapping for me.
Oh, she's clapping. Oh, sorry. My bifocals, I can't really see very well.
So for the Alex Metcalf Award will again be the best of show. So we will take all the scores from the 3 categories of the economic development renewal, the ESG, and the collaborative projects. And the best of show for the 3 communities, for the 3 population sizes, will get the EDA over the year. For the economic developer of the year, this is where we've just tried to simplify it again. A 500 word abstract, and then 3 letters. One from a somebody from your municipality, one from an EDO. We didn't say it, but preferably not from your municipality, somebody you've worked with, not your boss, but it could be. I mean, we haven't stipulated, so it could be your boss. So an EDO, and then and then one from industry, somebody you've worked with, a developer, a small business owner who you've helped with a storefront improvement or helped with their business plan. So 500 words, 3 letters, that's it. And for the young professional, Nancy, what's the age group of young professionals? 65 and under?
65 and under. Yes.
Thank you.
It is.
I'm still young. There is an age limit to that, which I don't know. Someone just Ben, can you check the website? I know we didn't put it in our material.
I think it's 35 and under, isn't it?
35 and under. Okay.
Yeah, 35 and under.
Okay. So Ben can go for it. Young EDOs and just 2 letters, one from your organization and one from an EDO colleague. And then the 500 word abstract on how the nominee has made a difference. So again, our goal is to simplify, broaden, seek more involvement. So do you have any questions? Do you think we missed the mark on anything?
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear people's overall impression right off the bat. What do you think of these changes?
I think they're good. I am happy that we're not asking for the same thing that we've been asking for forever and ever. And I love the fact that you are streamlining it. The city of St. Albert submitted for EDAC, and the process was extremely simple. I love the fact that it was 500 words. It was straight and simple. I mean, you had to cram a lot because you got a lot of detail into that 500, but it makes it a whole lot easier for the people who are reviewing it and vetting them, and then of course judging them. I see you've gone away from any of the creative side. I know there's an element of that in each one, but if there is marketing, actual marketing campaigns that people are doing, is that actually economic development? So I'm okay with that as well. I think you guys have done I know it's tough, and I'm very happy that Ben and Kent have taken this challenge on this year, and that you're making some changes. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, if I can just
go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to say, just to your point about marketing, yeah, we did have a good discussion about that too. A lot of EDOs, we do participate in marketing campaigns and things like that. So, but we also saw that like EDAC is really marketing awards. So I think, if you've got just really a pure marketing promo campaign that you're wanting to get an award for, I think EDAC might be a better route for that type of project, where we're looking for outcomes-based economic development projects, at least in this go, with the changes we made, and hopefully we'll get some good participation from our members.
And I wonder where we got the idea for 500 word abstract from. We did look at EDAC, we did look at IEDC, we did look at some others. We used to call these the Marketing Awards of Excellence back when we created the program, 12 years ago. And I think we've evolved as an association since then. And it's a profession. ESG is touching everybody now. And so we thought, okay, well, let's get away from the BRE, attraction, retention, marketing campaigns, best product, best giveaway, and look at substantial economic development activity.
And yeah, I really like those changes, and I'm sitting here hearkening back to the days when we used to have to make a display board and then get it shipped up to you. So we were cutting and pasting and gluing at midnight to try and get stuff into the courier on time. So this is just quite refreshing and lovely.
And my office being full of poster boards.
Yeah.
And then transporting them to a room where we could judge poster boards.
Yeah, and thank you, Pat. I've really appreciated the work that you've done over the last 2 or 3 years to just really streamline and pull it together, and Mary Lee before you. So every brilliant person that we get coming in adds something new and good. So this is great.
Sandy, did you have a question?
I like the idea that all your member communities can participate in this, because it's not a marketing award and marketing based, because a lot of our communities don't have those big honking budgets that Calgary, City of Calgary has. And like Calgary walked away, I don't know, it's not last year, year before, with all the awards just about, and they have a huge budget, so they can do that kind of stuff. So I think this is really great because it's inclusive of all these smaller communities that don't have these huge budgets. So good for you. Thank you. Thank you for making it inclusive for everyone.
I haven't
Thank you.
asked. I haven't
Okay,
asked.
just say, oh, Eleanor's got her hand up. So
Oh, Eleanor
after
had her hand
Nancy's
up, yeah.
asked.
No worries, thank you. I love the diversity in projects, and it shows the evolving of our industry. The more we're getting involved in equity, diversity, inclusion, in sustainable practices, and that our communities are progressing in that space. So thank you for the work you've done on this. I know it's hard to consider. I was the first year I worked with Pat on the awards, and like you can't spend many days going through applications. It's a lot of work. And I think to Sandy's point, it does become attainable for other communities to participate in this type of work. So thank you.
Excellent. All right. Any other questions or comments, or anybody have anything else to say?
Please talk it up.
Yes, that's exactly what my ask is going to be.
Okay. Please, we need communities to support it, because if we don't get the support, let's just shut the program down. We've tried to think out of the box. We've tried to think of something that Bev, your powerhouse in Southern Alberta. Bev's, no, she's still there. You're all powerhouses in your region, sub-regions. Please talk it up. Let them know it's changed. Let them know that it's a broad judging panel. But let's, for my own, the city of Edmonton, and Sandy, to your point, we never applied as one of the 3 or 4 large cities. So it just made it easy for Calgary to win. The city of Edmonton, my colleagues have already got a brownfield development project for the sustainability that they want to put in, and they're already thinking about it. So please talk it up. Yes, you're creating competition for your own submissions, but competition's great.
All of the information is on our website and our social media pages, so you can always refer people to that. You don't have to have all of the answers. All of the answers are on our website. In the email tomorrow, when I send out a link to our recording and so on, Kent and Ben, if it's okay, I'm going to include your email addresses. That way, if people have any questions, they can refer to you directly, ask you directly. And don't forget, the deadline, the final deadline is March the 11th. So we're going to look forward to all kinds of submissions.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, my email is pnickel@stalbert.ca.
All right. Anybody have anything else? Kent, Ben, anything?
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Sure.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.